big highlight was Cy Wakeman and her message around employee engagement. I went to one of her seminars, and I know for us, one issue that we run into is we always want to measure engagement. We want to measure satisfaction sometimes even, but you can kind of get yourself in a dangerous situation when you have all this data and your first gut is to make everyone happy and to increase those scores because we know engagement is correlated with business performance. But we also want to go in and give the message to clients and folks that we work with that we don't want to make initiatives and design things based on, the bottom performers. We want to find that top 10% and design to them and create conditions that then even convert the folks in the middle up to high performance. And so she had some great thoughts around how you ask questions around personal responsibility and level of accountability and find those folks that they really take ownership of the success of the organization and say, okay, how do we take their scores and say this is their engagement and almost forget about the other people. If they want to quit, fine. That's maybe not a bad thing. And really design an organization that works for the high performers. So that's going to be something that I'm kind of marinating over a little bit, and I think that is going to show up in our work with some of our clients.
Yeah.
How about you?
I thought Gary Hamel, the author and the professor, spoke to kind of the current situation with regards to engagement and kind of he's written a book that's called What Matters Now, and it was eye-opening. I mean, I think he's spot on. I think what he is calling for is very appropriate. And the other thing I liked about Gary's presentation, Luke, was that I think he was kind of telling it like it is, and literally kind of issuing a challenge for the people in attendance at the conference is, hey, this is something that it's a challenge that we all need to step up to. And then if I could squeeze in another one, I would say Kat Cole, the COO of Famous Brands, she shared some very powerful, poignant lessons learned from when she was the president of Cinnabon at a time when it was they were going through some very difficult times. And she shared some excellent examples about what she did as a leader to literally help that organization not only survive but thrive in some very challenging times. And she put a lot of, she really helped us understand kind of from the employee experience perspective and why that is so important.
How about things that didn't quite sit well with you, that stuck in your craw a little bit?
Yeah, I think just going back to Gary Hamel, he kind of put up a list of all the initiatives that HR has been focused on for the last 10 to 15 years, and that's where I've spent all of my career. And it's kind of hard to look at because we've literally spent a lot of time and money and effort trying to raise things like engagement levels inside of organizations or leadership effectiveness or the employee experience. And to be brutally honest, we haven't had much of an impact. Now, I think you got to be careful with that. I think there's been some wonderful things done and we're a lot better off. But I think to Gary's point, there's a long way to go.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, so I would say for me, it's really along the same lines, but it's about implementation. And these ideas that Gary, which, I was right there with him. I was like, yes, preach it. This is what I want to do. These are the type of organizations I want to build. Folks like him, they were saying a great message, but then I look out there and whatever it was, however many thousands of people sitting in the room, how many of them are actually going to be able to take those ideas and make sustainable change happen? Whether it's because they're an HR director that doesn't have power with the C-suite like they might need to make that change, or whether because their system and their situation, like the dynamics are just different enough or unique enough that they can't directly apply the ideas. And so whenever I was in seminars, that was always the theme of the questions people were asking. They were always about implementation, and there were always people kind of scratching their head around, well, I guess I'll go back and try this. And to your point, I'm sure people go back and try things and good things happen. Does it make sustainable system change? I have some real questions about that.
I think that's legitimate.
Yeah. So if you were going to identify one or two key takeaways for you, what would they be?
Boy, I was very fortunate to sit in on the Arbinger Institute's session that they did with regards to outward mindset. And I've been doing a lot of reading and research in the whole field of mindset. And boy, I think they've done some excellent work. And to this point about kind of providing practitioners with a roadmap, I think the Arbinger Institute has done a great job of laying out a really nice methodology that I think is very consistent. I know it's very consistent with our thinking and our thoughts as well, but I think very powerful piece of work and contribution to the group. How about you?
Yeah, so definitely it would be George Clooney and his message. I'm just kidding. Completely irrelevant, but he was there. Really my favorite thing, or my big takeaway was just I want to apply it to what I feel responsible for every day. So again, great thought leaders there. Tony Schwartz, Gary Hamel again, Kat Cole and what she was talking about, totally bought into all of that, but then also seeing people not being able to apply it effectively. So I want to take responsibility for closing that gap, whether it's with our clients or people that we advise or whatever. I want to be able to help people look at their unique systems, situations, dynamics in their organization and say, how do we take all of these sometimes pie in the sky ideas that some front runners have applied and be able to apply that to their unique situation in a way that really works, that really makes people's lives better, and that really moves the needle on performance.
Yeah, I would say Brene Brown has kind of got to you a little bit there.
Oh man,
she amazing.
Didn't. She honestly didn't say anything very exciting. She just reviewed her book, or went over an overview, which we already own the book. Come on, but hey, it's Brene Brown.
Yeah, it's a powerful message.
I mean, when I was growing up, I never had like a swimsuit model on my wall. Didn't have like the crush, but my cognitive crush in a lot of ways is Brene Brown. I mean, who else brings like real research and science? And clarity of message and clearly a passion for people together in the same way. I mean, she's kind of a one in a million. So.
Yeah, and another great example of someone that makes herself vulnerable, shares personal stories that are extremely powerful. Well, there's just, there's some really good stuff there.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening to us ramble for a little bit. If you want more information or more insights or thoughts from us, we have blogs, and you can always reach out to us as well at www.purposeandperformancegroup.com or find us on whatever social media platform you really like, except Instagram. I think we're probably just too old to figure that one out. So thank you for your time, and good luck implementing.
Go get them.